listening to the Art of Homeschooling podcast, where we help parents cultivate creativity and connection at home. I'm your host, Jean Miller, and here on this podcast, you'll find stories and inspiration to bring you the confidence you need to make homeschooling work for your family. Let's begin. Hey there, and welcome to episode 104 here on the podcast, Let Go of the Guilt. That's right. That's what I'm saying. Let it go. That's my invitation for today. Let go of the guilt. It's not serving you. And sitting in guilt is not going to do anything to move you forward. As I often say, we do not improve from a place of feeling bad about ourselves. Today, I have some suggestions for you for letting go of the guilt that we all feel as parents, as homeschoolers, and it's a good idea to keep it in check, to pay attention to when it crops up, and be able to do some things to let it go. I encourage homeschoolers to set aside a little time each week to reflect back before looking ahead. Think about the past week, the past month, and ask yourself a few questions like, what didn't go so well? What did go well? By the way, we have monthly reflection calls inside the Inspired at Home membership community for this very reason, to let go of what didn't work and what didn't serve us, what is no longer serving us, let go of regrets and feelings of guilt. We use a great reflections guide that has questions on it like, what were your biggest challenges last week or last month? When we start reflecting back, we often find ourselves wishing we'd done something differently. There will be things that come to mind that we wish we'd done but didn't, or things that we wish we were further along with. Or that the block started and ended feeling like a big flop, and so we wish we had done all kinds of things differently. And then we often start feeling bad about ourselves, and the guilt comes in. This happens to all of us. Maybe we think we should have tried harder or been more patient, or that we need to buy a new curriculum or be a better teacher or a better parent. We sometimes feel guilty that we didn't do what we had planned, and we may even wonder, what's wrong with me? But if we stay stuck there, I'm telling you, it's really hard to see the good, to recognize where we are making progress, because there's always some good along with the challenges. So how can you let go of the guilt and the worry so that you can wake up each day and start from a place of inspiration and freshness, not a heavy shoulda, woulda, coulda kind of place? Here's an idea. Over the next few days, do some simple little ritual to let go. Perhaps you write down what you're feeling guilty about and burn it. Or perhaps you cleanse yourself with water, do some sort of water ritual, and let all the feelings of guilt just wash away. The next time you start to feel guilty about all that did not get done, about how you showed up for your homeschooling, I want you to ask yourself this question. What am I going to let go of to shift or change this narrative, this story? And then take some action to help yourself let go. When we do our reflection calls inside the Inspired at Home community, we ask ourselves questions like, what challenges did we encounter? But we also ask, what unexpected learning happened? Or how did we fill ourselves up this past week or month? You might be interested to hear that on our most recent reflections call, one of our Inspired at Home members said, reflection calls are my favorite thing. There are always surprises and aha moments. Taking time to reflect before looking forward to the next week, the next month, can really help you let go of the guilt and stop focusing on all that you didn't do so that you can start fresh, my friend. Another way I've found helpful in letting go of guilt and judgment is just to get curious. Get curious about yourself, get curious about your children, get curious about how things played out. If you want to explore this further, check out episode 95 here on the podcast, The Best Remedy for Overwhelm. You can find it at artofhomeschooling.com/episode 95. Thank you so much for joining me today. I invite you to leave the shame and the guilt behind. And you can find the show notes for this episode at artofhomeschooling.com/episode 104. That's all for today, my friend. But here's what I want you to remember. Rather than perfection, let's focus on connection. Thanks so much for listening, and I'll see you on the next episode of the Art of Homeschooling podcast.